Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Long story short, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. And I am someone who does not like Seth Rogan at all. Like I can tolerate him in certain things, but I don't really like a lot of the things he does because I feel like it's like stoner humor, and that doesn't really appeal to me. Now, there's some things that he's done that intrigued me. Super bad. What's the one with the sausage party? It was a little different, but I still thought it was a little crazy. But it turned out to be pretty good. Going into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I was hoping that I don't get that vibe that I got from Sausage Party. Now, not as far as like the tone of the film, but just the humor on a lesser scale and just the crazy jokes and antics that were pulled in that movie. Now, I have to say, it did not give me that vibe at all. Like the one thing that I was afraid of, it didn't really happen. So there's that. Now, as all you know, I like to review movies in three different formats, right? I'll talk about the plot, I'll talk about the performances, and I'll talk about the soundtrack. So this is the first animated film I've done in a while, but we're gonna start with the plot. It's pretty straightforward. It's a little bit different. So if you are my age and slightly younger, going into this film as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, it's going to be a little bit different for you. The plot is way different. The plot's way different. There's a lot of the origin stuff. I wouldn't even say this is an origin film, but there's a lot of the origin story stuff from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that we don't get in this film. So you have to put that, in the back of your mind and just go into this film with those type of expectations. Now, the plot, like I said, was a little bit different. Not a little bit, a lot different from what we grew up on. So it was definitely geared to the younger generation. There's a lot of pop culture references. There's a lot of things that we see in today's age. Oh my God, though. They even use the word Riz. For anybody that doesn't know, Riz is what we call game in my day and age. Riz. Oh my God, it's so bad. But they definitely did a lot of callbacks to what today's society is, right? If you look at it, the Turtles learned a lot of what they know in the movie, basically from television and things like that, which mirrors what our society is today. If you look around, you see kids on their cell phone, YouTube, internet, everything we consume, we learn comes from a form of media, not like the old days where we learned all this stuff in schools. But the plot, pretty solid. If I had to put a number on it, I'd say the plot was above average, 6, 7. I didn't go to the film for the plot, to be honest. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? I go for the turtles, I go for the action, I go for the story, the dynamic between April, between the turtles, between Splinter. Like that's what I went for the movie for. And like I said, it delivered, right? There's a lot of things that people initially, when they kind of redid the style of April, it wasn't bad. I really didn't care less. Like there wasn't a point to it, but I mean, it didn't hurt the film like at all. Like the voice acting was still great. Everybody did a really good job as far as like what they brought to the performances. Everybody did an absolute great job at just their roles. Like there was a lot of energy. There was a lot of just comedy between the two. This film is heavily a comedy style film. The original Turtles, in my opinion, had the subtlety, the subtle comedy sprinkled throughout. It was indeed an action cartoon, right? An action animation, an action animated film and our TV show. And that was what drew me in as a kid. The action. Now, the action and the animation in the new movie was actually really, really good. I'm pretty sure someone died in this film. The action was really, really solid, and the turtles were doing what they do, and they were kicking butt. but I'm pretty sure, like I said, somebody might have died. But it was really well done. I enjoyed that aspect. The art style, it definitely was taking me a little bit to get used to it. Now, I didn't fall in love with it, but I also didn't hate it. It was like someone was on some type of psychotropic and was like, I'm going to animate this film based off of what I see in my head right now. And that's what we got. Like, some parts of the animation were clean cut, and then there was some that were just really, really crazy obtuse looking. And that was like my adjustment part. Now, if I did have to put a negative on it, it probably would be the animation style or the art style. It was definitely taking an inspiration from what we see in Spider-Verse, which still slightly different though. It was inspired. It felt slightly like that, but it was its own thing. It was something completely different, like a, like a weird Van Gogh painting or something like that. But it was pretty solid. Moving into the soundtrack, there was some utilization to some of the old callbacks to what we got in the original films. There was a Vanilla Ice song playing. There was some Ice Cube. Speaking of Ice Cube, we'll get to but we'll get back to him and his role as well. But there was some hints sprinkled out of the old Vanilla Ice song that was played in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action adaptation. There was a lot of Ice Cube songs in there. There was a lot of references to some of his songs, and I thought that was some of the comedy that actually worked in the film. And Ice Cube, as a voice actor, he did his job. He did it really, really well. I think he was probably one of my favorite aspects of the movie itself. But the soundtrack was amazing. Now, initially when it first came on, they kind of remixed the theme a little bit, and it actually was really, really catchy, but we didn't hear it very long. So I'm curious to see what that sounds like. Maybe I'll look it up and see if I can find the actual remix version of what the theme for the Turtles were in this movie. Speaking of Ice Cube, like I said, he was killing a role. Superfly. Like, I just, at first it threw me off, but his introduction, I was not expecting what I got, but it was really, really well executed. But the story, going back to the plot, the story itself was very, very different from what we've seen in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, that might be one of the things that I want to see. Like, the origin story is completely different. We didn't see any of that. It's its own thing. Like, it is indeed its own thing versus any other turtle adaptation we've gotten in the past. I still don't know how I quite feel about that. I was hoping to see a different take on, which we got a different take completely, but just a different take on what we already knew. But like I said, for me, my expectations were completely different. But kids are gonna love it. The colors, the animation, just how bright everything looked, how flashy everything looked. If you're a kid and you are of a certain age, you're absolutely gonna love just how flashy things are in this film. And it was pretty interesting to see their choice of color palette, their choice of this animation style that was inspired by something else, but kind of completely different in its own right. Overall, the film was quite enjoyable. I mean, I thought it was okay. I liked it. I was, like I said, hoping for something else, but that's on me. Those are my own expectations that I was projected into the film, but it was still pretty good. As a kid growing up in this age, for your introduction to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's gonna be a banger for you guys. So, but with that said, take your kids, go see it if you have any. Hell, if you are a person of my age and you love the Turtles growing up, go see it. You probably will have some qualms about some of the things, but overall, I think you will enjoy it. That's it for the video, guys. My name's Lincoln. This is the RPG Show, and until next time, guys, like, comment, sub, but most importantly, hit that notification bell. And I'm out. Peace.